Hey, howdy, hey, you're on with the Juice Man, and this is Boat Game. This morning, we've got a look at the brand new Tier 7 campaign ship, the Sommers. Now, first and foremost, I've got it kitted out with Vincent Mordoff, Bay and Swirsky Inspirations, Observant Rage, Mortar, Perceptive, Sheltered Arms, and Unstoppable. I'm running Aiming Systems Mod 1, Propulsion Mod 2, Concealment System Mod 1, and Main Battery Mod 3. He's got 17,300 hit points. He's got 8 127mm guns and 4 double turrets, reaching out to 10.9 kilometers, reloading in 4.6 seconds. The HE shells with this mortar build do 1980 max alpha, and there's 2310 on the AP shell. Fire setting chances of 5%. Overall, the guns are pretty good. Now on the torpedoes, we've got 3 quadruple 533mm torpedo launchers. They go out 12 kilometers as a base range. They're only detected at 1.4. They have a maximum damage of 17,900. Pretty good, but they're slow at 66 knots. And this thing has no AA. The AA is very bad. The guns are not dual purpose, but it's pretty maneuverable. Maximum speed of 38.6 knots, a 620 millimeter turning circle, and a 4.3 rudder shift. And on this build, edging out 6 kilometers of concealment. She's covered pretty much head to toe with 20mm armor. And she's a destroyer flotilla leader equipped with 8 guns that had the largest number of torpedoes per salvo among all the ships of the US Navy. Entered service in 1937, and there was 5 of them. So without further ado, let's get into the game. And we are on Shatter? No, Haven. They still haven't fixed that bug. I'm not sure what the issue is with that, but it's getting a little more common. I figured it out though. It always shows what the last map you played on was. Anywho, we got a ZF-6 on the enemy team, being the only destroyer. There's also a Minotaur, 2 Alaskas, and the rest is battleships, 3 being Yamatos, a Grosser Kurfürst, and a Richelieu. So I'm thinking in my head, where am I going to push this battle? I already, at this point, had 1 game in this ship, and there was 2 Sommers on the enemy team, and I got a double strike off of them. So I'm fairly confident in my ability to deal with another DD. But my gripe with the ZF-6 is he's got that reload booster. And if he can get beside me and reload boost me with the AP, it's really going to hurt. So I got to play it smart. And now a lot of people on Haven like to move west and hang out on that ring of islands to the southwest side of the map. But not me. I like to come play through this channel, because once ships get between these islands, it's very hard for them to disengage, to turn around, to get out of the way of torpedoes, and this thing having 12-kilometer torpedoes and 12 of them certainly makes it pretty easy to deny an area. Fortunately for me, and unfortunately for the enemy team, not a whole lot of ships are going to be super interested in pushing up this side.
Enemy force detected.
Now, as we start getting into position, we start spotting a lot more ships. There's an Alaska and 2 Yamatos hanging out in the middle there. There's a Richelieu running up towards the back. My perceptive is currently pointing sort of in the direction of the Richelieu, so I'm kind of edging my way that way. It just flipped over to where the Yamato is. So I'm trying to get kind of up to these islands here so I can play towards the base and get torpedoes on these guys that are just hiding on the rock. And then I spot the Minotaur. And thinking, wow, if he was running my build, I might be dead right now. But tragically, he's not. He's just like every other Minotaur. Broadside strat at the start of the game. Run away, pop a smoke, farm damage. So at this point, now that Minotaur has been spotted, my Ingenious or my Perceptive should be pointing at him. but it's not. It's pointing off the bow of my ship. So now I know exactly where the enemy destroyer is. There's no way Richelieu made it over here already, so I am on the hunt. Now I've got a 6-kilometer concealment, so I will be outspotted. But if I know a ZF6, I know he's not gonna give up an opportunity to take some shots at me. He gets spotted at about 4.6 kilometers, so I'd assume his detection's about 4.8 if you account for a bit of server lag. And I know for a fact he's broadside to me, he just dumped torps at me. So there's the first set, and there's the second set. Are we gonna dodge? We sure are, but we had to give up a little too much angle to the ZF6. And he managed to get an okay AP salvo into us. He just did it again. But as you can see, with mortar, I am just chunking him with this HE. Blind fire in the smoke, down he goes. Now, truthfully, he's the only destroyer their team had, and now he's off the board. They don't have a carrier. I've just severed their intelligence data on this side. Now, remember those torps I fired into the mid? Those fire and forget torpedoes? Well, I just hit one of those. And I'm happy about it. It's, one more torp hit than I had before. But that flood didn't last, which is a bit of a shame. So now I'm getting some distance between me and the Richelieu before he can try to fire at me. And say what you want, but I'm not really going to do much about this Richelieu because, truthfully, the only thing he's got to shoot at is our Alaska that's kiting away from him or a bow in Yam across from him. Richelieu is not the biggest threat here. I'm trying to get back towards the base and get spots on those cruisers. The Alaska and the Minotaur are public enemy #1 right now. Especially with Minotaur farming damage out of that smoke screen, he's absolutely public enemy 1. That doesn't mean I'm going to completely ignore the Richelieu, but he's just not the biggest threat, so I'm going to focus more on getting around him. Couple more fire and forget torpedoes at the Richelieu, and we're going to start moving north. Now, I know for a fact Alaska is going to be an issue. I know for a fact Minotaur definitely be an issue if he comes over here, but the Kurfürst and the Yamato that are over here don't pose too much of a threat because they're going to have a very hard time spotting me. Now we're 5 minutes into the game, sitting on 33,367 damage, but we've taken 100% of the HP from the enemy destroyer, and we've hit a torpedo on one of those battleships hanging out in the middle. So overall, we're not doing too bad, but both teams are down one ship 5 minutes into the game. There's the destroyer that I took down, and we've lost a cruiser. So there's still a lot of ship out there to be dealt with. I hit one shell on the Alaska for a total yoink, and that yoink is going to be extremely important for the outcome of that battle. The outcome of this battle. So there's torps at the GK, torps at the Yamato. I'm going to start slowing down, pop the smoke. For some reason, I didn't really occur to me that I was the only one spotting these guys, and I lose my acquirement on them, but that's okay. I can always pop out of the smoke, reacquire them, pop back into it. GK's smoke penalty is also going to get him spotted. Now I've got torps going at Yam, and I've got torps going at GK. I'm going to try a cheeky blind fire on the Yam. GK's turning. He has been successfully jebaited by my shells and successfully jebaited by my smoke screen. And he's going to turn broadside right into my torpedoes. And I'm going to flood him. 2 torp hits, 2 floods. He's going to flood for a bit. I'm going to back out. Try to reacquire the GK. He's going to crash into an island. He's still very much flooding. I wouldn't mind putting a fire on him, so I'm going to take a shot at the Yam and then switch back to the GK. GK's secondaries gave him away. Let's get a blind fire at him. Good hit. And then here I'm going to whiff a little bit and aim a little too high and kind of shoot right over him. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's right. He's over here. Fortunately for me, he gets spotted again. Now at this point, he's damage conned those floods, so my main objective now is to put a fire on him. Unfortunately, what goes around comes around. Yoink and be yoinked. The Kurfürst was taken by the Yamato. That's okay. I'm thinking, well, that Minotaur hasn't been spotted in a little while. I think it's time to push out and go find the Minotaur. Well, very unfortunately for me, Minotaur is gonna find me first. At 5 kilometers away. This is a brown pants moment if I ever saw one. So I am panicking, I am full throttle, I'm turning, I'm trying to juke the Minotaur's shots, I'm dumping all the torps I have at him just in case he kills me. I realize after the fact I probably didn't have to dump all of the torps at him, because he's going to sail straight into the first one I launched at him. He gets one good hit at me, but I take him down. Now I'm sitting on 112,000 damage with 3 kills, and the game's still pretty far from over. There's 4 healthy ships left. I'm trying to disengage from this Alaska because I know with the amount of HP I have, he could absolutely wreck me. I drop spot, and in true Alaska fashion, he pops the radar, so I know I only realistically have to dodge one more salvo from him, then I can get out of his range. He's going to hit one shell on me. That's about it. Yamato wasn't ready to shoot at me. I drop spot once again. And those torps that I fired at the Minotaur, had I fired him a bit later, a bit more to the right, I might have hit the Yamato with them. But it is what it is. They're not going to hit. What's important, though, is I took down the Minotaur by myself. And he didn't absolutely get me. Now we're going to play a little bit of Sailing Simulator. The torps are on reload. The team has actually successfully pushed this side. I'm not going to take full credit for my team's successful push to this side, but I will say I definitely contributed. Now I'm looking at my top right corner of my screen. I'm seeing I've got 3 kills. There's 4 ships left. Well, 3 ships left now. I'm going to start hunting the Kraken. I know it's absolutely viable. I can totally get it. There's that other Yamato way down to the south. There's still the Alaska, but Alaska is definitely not my first priority for a fight that I want to take. Yamato gets a big smack there, and I'm thinking, well, if I want the Kraken, I'm going to have to yoink this. So, commence the yoink. Hello, I said commence the yoink.
Engine boost deactivated.
What are you doing, Juice? He's going to get away from you. Wow, those shells look good. Hope they don't kill him. Wow, you're very lucky, you know that? I guess I was just waiting for the island cover. Now, in an incredible feat of CC RNG, I'm going to set the Yamato on fire. And I don't know how much HP he had before I got him with the fire tick, but that was somehow my kill. And now I'm on 4 kills. 114,000 damage. Now my options are the Alaska or the Yam to the south. Now I'm not really interested in fighting in Alaska. The Yam to the south confirms my decision when I see he's got a lot of HP. Our battleships should be pushing north. The 2 battleships that are near me should be going north to deal with the Alaska. They really have no business coming after this Yamato. There's not much that they're going to gain from that besides some big damage, which granted they're going to get because it's a Yamato sitting broadside. They're going to get some free damage. But the Yamato isn't the biggest threat to the team right now. If the guys on lower health, well, our Alaska's not too low, but if the Yam on lower health at the north side of the map there, those guys go down to the Alaska, Alaska could get into the base, I'd be powerless. And who knows, this Yamato could have been an absolute unicum and dumped on both of ours. Unfortunately for him, that's not what's going to happen, but I don't know, I think our team got a little greedy here. I'm definitely not one to talk. I'm currently trying to yoink a Kraken. Enemy Yamato got his high caliber 2 salvos ago. He just got his Confederate. He absolutely played an excellent game here. He's lost almost all of his health. I've got my shells inbound. I'm praying that our other Yamato doesn't shoot at him, giving the team a cheeky get back. There's my fire. Shells out. And right about, not quite, this one, there. He takes down our Yamato. Sure is a good thing I was here to secure the kill, right? And there's the kill on the Yamato for the Kraken Unleashed. A thank you to my team for their performance this game. They had a successful push up my side, at least. And won us the game. See, competent support definitely makes for a good game. You couldn't have put as much pressure on the base as I did without having teammates behind me. I couldn't have won the game without having those teammates behind me. It all boils down to I gave them the support they needed and they gave me the support I needed, with the exception of the Minotaur still being alive as late as he was. But at the same time, Minotaur played that absolutely right. He ambushed me just coming out of my smoke screen. GG's to the Minotaur. He definitely knew what he was doing, but he should have flipped that broadside a lot sooner and got those shells going a lot sooner. He could have out DPM'd me, but he was scared of the torpedoes, rightfully so. Now, with 2 minutes left in the match, our Alaska is locked in a duel with the enemy Alaska. Enemy Alaska is not long for this world. This game is pretty much over. So, we finish this game with 119,862 damage, 161 shell hits, 4 torpedoes hit, 3 incapacitations, 5 kills, 2 fires, 4 floods, 6 ships spotted, the Kraken unleashed. Topping off the leaderboard with 2,951 base XP. Now, that is kind of low because there was some yoinks involved, but I think I more than earned the first 3 kills. Maybe 4 if you want to count the GK, because I did most of the damage to him. So, if you liked the video, slap like. If you want to see more videos like this one, feel free to hit subscribe. There's going to be a Discord link in the pinned comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.